Imagine something that never stops walking toward you. It doesn't run. It doesn't hide. It just keeps moving, closer and closer, until it catches you. You can pass it to someone else, but the moment they die, it comes back for you. This is the terrifying curse in It Follows. The film opens on a terrified young woman running through empty streets. She looks over her shoulder as if someone unseen is following her. She jumps into her parents' car and flees, glancing back the whole way. That night, she calls her mother and father. Through shaky, breathless words, she tells them she loves them and asks forgiveness if she has ever hurt them. Dawn finds her dead. The neighbor discovers her body, and the film's quiet dread settles in. The scene cuts to Jay, a college-aged woman who lives in a modest house with her friends Paul and Yara. Tonight, she's going on a date with a new boyfriend named Hugh. They walk into a theater near Jay's house to watch a movie. During the film, Hugh keeps looking nervous and distracted. He asks Jay if she sees a girl sitting behind them, and when Jay checks, there's nobody there. Hugh grows visibly unsettled and decides they should leave. On the way out, he acts odd, distant, and worried. Jay asks why he is so troubled. Hugh barely answers. The next day, Jay and Hugh go out on another date. This time, Hugh admits that he really likes her. Later that night, they park somewhere quiet, and in the back seat of Hugh's car, they become intimate. But after their encounter, something horrifying happens. Hugh suddenly presses a handkerchief over Jay's mouth. It's soaked with anesthesia. Before she can react, everything fades to black. When Jay wakes up, she finds herself tied to a chair inside an abandoned building. Hugh stands in front of her, visibly shaken. His face is pale, his eyes filled with terror. Then, he tells her the truth. A truth so disturbing it doesn't sound real. He says that ever since he slept with another woman, something has been following him. A presence that takes different forms. Sometimes a stranger, sometimes someone you know. It doesn't speak. It doesn't run. It just walks, always moving, always coming closer. No matter where you go, it will find you. And if it catches you, it kills you. The only way to escape it is to pass it on. You have to sleep with someone else, and then the curse transfers to them. But if that person dies, it comes right back to you. It's a never-ending cycle. Hugh tells Jay that now, after being with her, the curse will start following her instead. He warns her not to ignore what she sees. It might look like an ordinary person, but it's not. Never let it touch you. Stay around people. Avoid places with too many exits where it can corner you, and keep moving no matter what. His voice trembles as he speaks. He's terrified, and Jay can see it. When he's done explaining, Hugh drives Jay back to her neighborhood and throws her out of the car, speeding away into the night. After the terrifying night, Jay goes to the police to report what happened, but her story makes no sense to them. When the officers investigate Hugh, they discover he's been lying about everything. The name he gave Jay isn't real, and the address he told her doesn't exist. He's vanished completely, like he never lived in the city at all. Jay is left shaken and confused, wondering if any of it was true or if she's losing her mind. Still shaken and confused, Jay calls her friends Paul and Yara. She tells them everything, about Hugh, about the curse, about what he said. At first, they think it sounds insane, but they can tell from Jay's voice that something is seriously wrong. Paul, ever protective, wants to believe her. Yara, though skeptical, can't shake the feeling that whatever happened is real, and far from over. The next day, while she's at college, Jay notices an old woman slowly walking toward her across the campus courtyard. Something about the woman feels wrong. Her eyes are blank, her steps heavy but deliberate. When Jay realizes the woman is coming straight for her, fear grips her heart. She turns and runs, and even though the campus is full of people, no one else seems to notice the old woman. That's when Jay understands. This is the same thing Hugh warned her about. The entity has found her. Panicked, Jay rushes to her car and keeps driving until night falls. Later that night, she tells Paul everything and asks him to stay near her in the TV lounge. Paul wants to believe her but struggles to make sense of it. Still, seeing how terrified Jay is, he decides to stay the night to make sure she isn't alone. As they talk late into the night, sudden footsteps echo through the hallway outside. Paul goes to check but finds nothing. Jay follows him cautiously, and that's when she sees it. A girl, pale and expressionless, is slowly walking toward her. Jay can see her clearly, but Paul can't see anyone at all. The figure keeps moving closer, its eyes locked on Jay. The entity has changed form again. Jay screams and runs back into her room, slamming the door behind her. Paul and her sister Kelly rush in, trying to calm her down. But before they can react, the entity appears once more, now taking the shape of a tall, horrifying man who bends under the doorframe as he steps inside. Jay's terror explodes. She climbs out of the window and jumps down, running barefoot into the dark streets until she reaches a nearby playground. She sits there shaking, trying to catch her breath. The reality is undeniable now. Hugh was telling the truth. The entity is real, and it's coming for her. Soon, Kelly, Paul, and Yara find her and try to comfort her. They don't know what to believe, but the fear in Jay's eyes is convincing enough. Then, in the distance, they see a figure, a man walking toward them slowly. Jay panics, thinking it's the entity again. Paul and Kelly try to assure her it's just a normal person, but Jay refuses to take the risk. She insists they need to find Hugh, or whatever his real name is, to learn how to stop this thing. They track down his house using the address he gave Jay. Inside, they find a clue, an old photo showing him in a school uniform. From that, they figure out which school he once attended. When they arrive at the school, they finally learn his real name and address. The group drives to his neighborhood and confronts him. Hugh, whose real name is actually Jeff, admits everything. He says he met a girl at a bar some time ago, slept with her, and soon after that he started seeing it. The thing takes many forms, sometimes people you know, sometimes complete strangers, but it never stops walking. He confirms that everything he told Jay was true. The only way to get rid of it is to pass it on to someone else. Jay listens, horrified, realizing there's no cure, only survival. The curse moves in a straight line from one victim to the next. If it kills the person you passed it to, it comes right back for you. The group leaves Jeff's house without a real plan. They return home, scared and hopeless, trying to figure out what to do next. Jay's neighbor, Greg, is with them too. The next day, Greg teaches Jay how to shoot. Later, they drive out to the beach to get some distance from everything. For a while, things seem calm, and Jay finally starts to relax, but then she freezes. The entity appears again. None of her friends can see it, but before anyone can react, it suddenly grabs Jay by the hair and starts pulling her violently backward. Everyone panics as they realize something invisible is attacking her. Paul quickly grabs a chair and swings it through the air, and when it hits, the chair smashes into the invisible figure, proving it's real. The entity stumbles but immediately pushes Paul away with terrifying strength, throwing him several feet into the sand. Jay breaks free and runs into a nearby beach cottage for safety, her friends rushing after her. Inside, she grabs the gun and shoots the entity in the neck. It collapses, but then horrifyingly gets back up. They slam the door shut and try to calm her down, but the tension is unbearable. Greg peers out the window to check if it's gone. Seeing nothing, he turns back, confused, and says there's no one out there. But before anyone can even breathe, the entity reappears, this time in the form of a teenage boy. It crawls through the shattered doorway, its movement slow and unnervingly unnatural. The group screams and bolts out of the cottage, running for their lives. Jay, terrified and overwhelmed, jumps into her car and speeds away, ignoring her friends' pleas to stop. Her hands shake on the steering wheel, her mind racing with panic. Suddenly, another car swerves into her path. Jay loses control, crashes, and everything goes black. When she wakes up, she's in a hospital bed, bruised but alive. Her friends sit quietly beside her, with Greg watching her closely, concern etched across his face. After some time, he gently tells her he wants to help, in the only way he can. That night, Greg and Jay sleep together, hoping the curse will move from her to him. Days pass. Jay starts to relax. The entity hasn't appeared, and for the first time in a while, she almost feels normal again. But one night, as she looks out her window, she spots Greg walking across the street toward his house. Something feels off. His movements are stiff, slow, unnatural. Then it hits her. That's not Greg, it's the entity. Somehow she can still see it. Jay panics and runs to his house, banging on his door, but no one answers. She rushes around to the back and sees the window open. The real Greg is inside, unaware of what's coming. Jay screams for him not to open the door. But it's too late. The entity, now in the form of Greg's own mother, knocks on his bedroom door. When he opens it, she leaps on him, killing him instantly. Jay runs away in horror, realizing the curse has returned to her. She spends the entire night hiding in her car, parked on an empty road, unable to sleep. The weight of it all sinks in. She can't escape it. Whoever she passes it to will eventually die, and when they do, it will come back for her. The next morning, she drives to the beach nearby. 3 young men are enjoying the picnic on a boat. Jay watches them from a distance, thinking quietly to herself. Desperation fills her eyes. She's considering something she never thought she would. Maybe if she sleeps with someone, pass the curse to a stranger like Jeff did to her, the entity will move on again. At least for a while. But she can't do it. She knows that if she does, those innocent men will eventually die because of her. The thought eats at her. So instead, she drives back home, exhausted and hopeless. When Jay returns home, Paul tells her he's willing to take the curse from her, that he wants to help her carry this burden. But Jay refuses. She doesn't want to risk his life too. Seeing her despair, Paul comes up with a desperate plan. A plan to kill the entity once and for all. That night, they drive to an old, abandoned swimming pool at the edge of town. The place is dark and silent, the air thick with tension. Together, Paul, Jay, and the others set up a deadly trap. They surround the pool with electrical devices, lamps, irons, televisions, anything that can conduct electricity, hoping to lure the entity into the water and electrocute it. Jay steps into the pool, trembling, waiting for it to appear. Moments later, it does. The entity appears in the shape of a tall, strong man. It walks slowly toward Jay, its eyes locked on her. But somehow it already knows their plan. One by one, it starts throwing the electrical devices into the water, shorting them out before anyone can use them. Paul grabs a gun and starts firing, but his bullets keep missing, until 𝗟𝗲𝗲 throws a blanket over the entity, following Jay's instructions. The blanket reveals its shape for just a moment. Paul fires again, and this time the bullet hits. The entity falls into the pool, sinking deep into the water. But it's not over. Jay suddenly feels something grab her ankle and pull her under. The entity is still alive, dragging her down into the dark water. Paul runs to the edge and fires more shots into the pool. Bubbles rise. Then, silence. Jay climbs out, gasping for air. A few seconds later, the water slowly turns red. Paul looks into the water and sees nothing but blood. They don't know if it's truly dead, but for now, it's over. Paul sleeps with Jay, taking on the curse himself, and for a while, life seems almost normal. Days pass. The two of them grow closer, finally letting go of the fear that's haunted them for so long. In the final scene, Jay and Paul walk hand in hand down a quiet suburban street. The sunlight is soft, the world looks calm. But as the camera lingers behind them, a distant figure can be seen walking slowly in their direction. We don't know who it is, a stranger, or the entity. The film ends here, leaving the answer hidden. Maybe the curse still lives, maybe it's finally over. No one knows for sure. On IMDb, this movie was rated by 293,000 people and has an average rating of 6.8. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please share it with your friends and subscribe to this channel for more interesting videos like this. See you in the next one.